Shalom, shalom. This is Brother George. I'm back at it with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going into being simple and just how men don't really need much. I'm not here to be the one to say that we can't have nice clothes, nice shoes, because we come from people who naturally had nice things, right? In David and Solomon's time, us having shields of gold, candlesticks of gold, doors laden with gold, basically, a whole temple being gold, just all things of renown. I'm in the book of Ezekiel, I believe it's chapter 16 and 12. It talks about those certain things. Also, the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 10, So we had cheeks of gold, we might have had grills, necklaces, earrings, all of these other different things. So that's not a problem. But what is a problem is when you start to take too much of a regard towards those things or towards the things of the world, right? So I'm going to start with the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4 and verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal, right? So all of the things you can see, clothes, shoes, money, all of these things are things that are seen, right? That aren't going to be profitable to us in the day of the Lord, right? Now we'll jump to the book of Sirach, chapter 39, and I'm going to get verse 26. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing, right? So those are just going over things that we need for life. Once again, keeping things simple. Anything else above that is what's known as a luxury. Kind of how they teach you in certain financial literacy classes or just in life. You may hear your parents say, you don't need that, you want that. So anything else above that is really a want, not a need. Right, I'm going to stay in the book of Sirach, and I'm going to go to chapter 31. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 19. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. Right, so a very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured. So if you're well nurtured, if you're well taken care of, if you have wisdom, that's going to be your knowledge pertaining to the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. If you have that wisdom of the times, that's going to be your stability, right? Let me get that. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? And let me also get Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 7. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 7. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. Right? So when you have trust in the Lord, when you hope in the Lord, he's truly going to be there for you, and you don't really need anything else. Because the Most High God is the one that kills. He's the one that brings up and takes down. He's the one that does all of these things, man. So sometimes we don't have to get too caught up in having this or this or that. Me being a younger brother worried about college and making money and just living real fast and stuff like that, you kind of got to pump your brakes in this thing and realize that the Most High God is going to take care of you, and you truly don't need much. Learning how to not take things for granted. Just having simple things in your house like food, water, and a roof over your head is still a blessing. So let me go to the book of Genesis, chapter 25, and verse 27. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, and verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Right? So our forefather, Jacob, was a plain man dwelling in tents. It didn't say that he had a palace. It didn't say that he had a castle. It said that he was a plain man dwelling in tents. I'm led to believe that he was somebody that kind of, sowed his seed, reaped it when it was time, and, was kind of chilling this thing. Obviously still a mighty brother, of course, being our forefather, but still, not being one out here doing too much, right? I'm going to go to the book of Habakkuk, and I'm going to get chapter 2 and verse 2. Excuse me, Salakia. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right? So making things plain upon tables. You don't necessarily have to speak so much all the time, that you should be simple in speech. Right? I'm going to go to the book of Proverbs to get an account of that. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards, right? So once again, saying how you don't always have to say everything that you feel, you know, because we're not really supposed to bring emotions into things anyway. Things should be done off of logic and scripturally. Obviously, we have emotions, but we got to, really learn how to deal with these things, especially us growing up, young men, young women, not having these righteous examples. That's why it's better sometimes to kind of shut your mouth. I believe it's the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 5, roughly paraphrasing. I could definitely be off on that, so Salaki if I am. But it says that, that when you don't know something, you're supposed to, put your hand over your mouth. You're supposed to be quiet, and not utter anything else so that you don't, falsely deceive somebody. Because if so, that's going to be blood on your hands come judgment day, right? This is the book of Proverbs, and I'm going to get chapter 17. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verses 27 and 28. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Right? So once again, being simple in speech, something as small as you being quiet could help you, be esteemed as a man of understanding, as having wisdom. Wisdom doesn't always have to be something that's extra esoterical. It doesn't have to be somebody with the best vocabulary that's using 25-letter words or anything like that. Sometimes it could just be as simple as being quiet. All right, I'm going to get the book of Luke, chapter 9, and verse 3. And he said unto them, take nothing for your journey, neither staves, nor scrip, neither bread, neither money, neither have two coats apiece. And whatsoever house ye enter into, there abide, and thence depart. And whosoever will not receive you when ye go out of that city, shake off the very dust from your feet for a testimony against them, right? So this is the Most High God, because this is in red letter. Salakia, this is Yahushai, because it's in red letter, telling, the disciples that you don't have to take anything with you, not even a staff, man. Not to say that there's anything wrong with preparing or anything like that. Even me, myself, I got a go bag, and just in case I'm in the house one day, somebody kick the door down, and then I got to get out of Dodge, as people say. But your trust should still be in the Most High God. I know that those things aren't going to save me, but it's truly Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that's either going to preserve my life or have me be a martyr in this thing. So I'm going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So your righteousness is what's going to deliver you from death. Like I was just saying, a couple of seconds ago. Sure, I have a go bag. I had these things, I've tried to stock up on food and water and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, my righteousness, Lord willing, I'm even able to be a part of the elect or even a part of the 1/3 or be saved out of this hellfire that's coming to, to the U.S. period. That is going to be the thing that's going to save me from death, right? And I'm not saying that money is a bad thing to have. That's not what I'm saying at all. If you're in a good financial position, and that's a blessing to the Most High God. But it becomes a problem when you put too much energy into those things or into the material things, man. We got to learn how to put those things away, because that's a problem as Israel. That's why we have people that's in damn 1999 Toyota Corollas, but they got on all the drip. They got on shoes and clothes and belts and stuff like that. That's more than most people rent. And that's really a problem between our people, but you can have a damn Joe or a Sally that got on flip flops, some cargo shorts, some damn Wranglers from Walmart, and a regular collar shirt. But whole time they can make, 6-7 figures a year, but you would never know because they don't wear their wealth as we do, But to go against that, I'm going to get the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 19. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but the money answereth all things, right? So just like I was saying, money is not a bad thing to have, but money should be used as a tool, not a source of happiness, Not your end-all be-all. The Most High God should be your end-all be-all, right? Now I'll make it the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3 and verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. Right? So once again, keep it things simple. You go to work, you eat, man. I believe it says in the book of Sirach that, roughly paraphrasing, that when the sun was up, a man would work, and when the sun was down, he would stop. Once again, make it things simple. Don't overcomplicate things, especially as a man, getting too caught up in, the things that you got on, your teachings, all of these things, man. Sometimes I kind of get too caught up in being perfect or over righteous or anything like that to even take a step back and realize, like the scriptures say that we're supposed to be in the world, but not of the world, you know. We can't make ourselves so high on a pedestal that we're still not able to go out here and connect and talk to our people, you know. I'm going to go to the book of First Corinthians, chapter 14, and verse 33. This is the book of First Corinthians, chapter 14, and verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, right? So God is not the author of confusion, man. Once again, keeping things simple. Not complacent, but simple. You can still rise up in this thing, obviously get better, take care of your mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, all of these different things, but still continue to be simple and practical, right? And this is what I'm going to get before I close out. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God, man. So we're not gonna live by bread alone. Bread being a symbol for things like money or just any material things, right? So we don't live by those things alone, but the words that proceed out of the mouth of the Most High God, man. And with that, I pray that this was a good, quick exhortation through the Spirit. Shalom.